One man facing charges accused of sexually abusing a teen at a group home. Also, a deadly stabbing. We're going to tell you where this is happening. Brooke Griffin is going to have the latest in Putnam.
Yeah, more about that man facing charges. We'll have that. Plus, it's time to start thinking of the true cost of heating your home. We'll share how you can save some money this winter.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
6 o'clock. Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Yes, good morning. It is Wednesday. It is foggy Wednesday, at least for me coming down I-91 to Hartford. It was foggy the whole way through. Curious to see just how sort of prevalent it is this morning.
Yeah, well, we're checking in with Matt Scott. I know Rachel was saying she was trying to get a moonshot all morning.
Couldn't do it.
And she couldn't do it because of the fog. Yeah.
Well, we were getting the moisture out of the way, which has obviously, as you know, been in place for the last couple of days. Thankfully, aside from the fog, there really aren't a lot of problems to talk about this morning. Finally, the sunshine coming back once we burn off the clouds. There's a slow warming, and we will talk about rain at the end of the week. Nothing doing on the radar picture right now. Hang on for 1 second, because I want to show you one thing that is just kind of, and I'm kind of calling it a little audible here. Temperature-wise, this is where we stand. Numbers are a little chilly out there, with numbers that are in the 40s for many of you. There it is. We were looking for some stuff around here. There it is. 47 degrees in Hartford, 48 degrees in New Haven. Looking at temperatures that are not bad, but here's the visibility. And you will see that we are talking about a half a mile right now in Hartford, but the rest of the state looking good. Maybe a little fog in Danbury, so stand by for that. All right, coming out, we'll talk about the forecast in detail, talk about a little warm-up that's coming, but also some rain, too. I'll have that for you coming up in a few minutes. We'll time out that rain. Hopefully it won't play into the weekend. Rachel Piscatelli, the woes of being an early morning meteorologist, looking for that moon. Couldn't find it with the fog.
Well, I found it. And so I was asking our executive producer, please, can we get this moonshot? But then the fog started to build in just in the capital city.
Yeah.
So it was a little frustrating. But I was telling folks just to go outside and so you could just see what I was talking about.
Sure.
And, you know, I'm not lying. It's gorgeous.
I believe you. We trust you.
Thanks. I hope so. All right, 6:02 right now. And taking a look out on the roads this morning, things are looking pretty good. We have a couple of areas that are having some road work that's still wrapping up this morning, but no major delays. Volume is actually rather light. So we have over in Milford this morning, out by exit 27. We have some road work that's out there, but that is wrapping up as we speak. Over in Hartford now, 91 heading into the capital city. That's where we're seeing some fog, but visibility isn't horrible in that area. And over in Cromwell now, we had some intermittent lane closures along Route 9 heading into around 91. So we'll take a peek at those drive times for Route 9. Route 9 to 91 looks pretty good, though, at 10 minutes. And Rocky Hill to Hartford, once you jump on 91, will be about a 7-minute drive into the capital city. Tim and Erica, back to you.
Rachel, thanks so much. Well, Putnam police are investigating after they say a man was stabbed and killed yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, they said they still don't know exactly where that stabbing happened. There are still a lot of questions here. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin, though, is live outside the Putnam Police Department with what we do know and what we still need to find out.
Well, Putnam police say that they are still working on trying to figure out what exactly happened and how that victim ended up at the hospital. But they say right now they have been able to identify that victim as 51-year-old William Logan. And they say that around 2:45 yesterday afternoon, a car drove up to Day Kimball Hospital here in Putnam, dropped off Logan with serious stab injuries, and then left. Police tell us the medical staff quickly jumped into action to try to save his life, but Logan died from his injuries. Investigators say that he's from New Haven, and they have no information on the person who dropped him off. They also don't know where exactly that stabbing happened or even what led up to it. The hospital released a statement saying it took precautions with the incident since officials were unsure of what the situation exactly was. The hospital did not go into any sort of lockdown, and nobody was hurt. Now, Putnam police say that they are working with other officials and investigators in this area, along with the Putnam State's attorney. They are trying to figure out what happened. If you have any information whatsoever that could help them with this investigation, they ask them that you go ahead and give them a call. Live in Putnam, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Brooke, thank you for that report. Coming up on 6:05 here this morning. State police have arrested a man who's accused of sexually abusing a teen at a group home that's under investigation right now. They said Angel Rivera sexually abused a girl who lived in that home in Harwinton beginning when she was 16. State police said they have text messages and other evidence showing that he paid her for sexual encounters. An investigator said he also tried to pay another 16-year-old girl for sex. They started investigating the home because of concerns about the safety of the staff and girls who live there.
Connecticut's presidential primary will now happen in the first week of April. Lawmakers voted to move the primary date during a special session yesterday. Now, in the past, the primary happened in the last week of April. Lawmakers say holding the primary earlier will get voters more engaged in the race and potentially motivate candidates to give more attention and campaign money to our state. State lawmakers have confirmed Nora Danahy as a new Associate Justice for the Connecticut Supreme Court. Danahy previously served in the U.S. Attorney's Office. As a federal prosecutor, she was involved in the investigation of the Trump-Russia probe in 2020. Well, the start of the fall and the colder mornings means it's not going to be long before people start turning the heat on in their homes.
Yeah, now ahead of winter, utility companies want people to start thinking about how much it's going to cost and ways they can lower those bills because prices are still very high. So let's get right over to Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro. He's here with us in studio with more. Good morning.
Tim, Erica, good morning. The bad news to share this morning, Eversource says the electric supply rate is expected to increase once again in January as energy costs remain at some of the highest levels in years. And that's why the company, Eversource, has launched an educational campaign to share ways that people can curb those costs. One of those things to do, shopping around for third-party suppliers with potentially cheaper rates. Both Eversource and United Illuminating customers can compare and shop those rates by visiting energizect.com. Now, something else to look into, Connecticut's Energy Assistance Program, which is once again expected to see increased demand this year. The Low Income Energy Advisory Board, which advises the state on energy assistance issues, is now calling on the state to provide its own funding in addition to federal funds to help meet that demand.
That's sort of been tabled. It wasn't an outright no, but it wasn't a yes. So we're going to have to see how the program unwinds. We believe that demand is going to continue to increase. We saw about a 20,000 person uptick in participation.
According to Eversource, energy costs are still at some of the highest levels in years. Ahead of the colder months, international factors like war, weather, continue to affect the seasonal winter cost of natural gas, which is used to produce roughly half of New England's electricity. Experts say people who use oil to heat their homes also not expected to see much relief either this year. You can find more information about all those resources that we just talked about on our website, that is fox61.com. Tim, Erica, back to you.
Angelo, thank you. Now to the latest on the absentee ballot probe in Bridgeport. The State Elections Enforcement Commission has at least 6 active investigations going on. And we're told that some were referrals from the Bridgeport police, too. Now, the John Gomes campaign says supporters of his opponent, Mayor Joe Ganim, illegally stuffed ballot boxes and, they said, denied the Gomes campaign access to some senior living complexes. Now, Fox 61 got access to 4 affidavit complaints about the Ganim campaign that were sent to the Enforcement Commission. You can read more about those complaints right now on fox61.com.